I was talking to somebody about, this whole political season, and, when you look at the amount of information that's out there, from the ads that are out there, the billions of dollars, which is going to be billions, is being spent to influence me and you. I noticed that a lot of these ads have half truths, so equivocations. They're neither lying nor telling the truth. And so again, it goes back to my whole thing that with Sims, being the educated consumer, but educated consumer is our best customer. Well, in politics, it's the same thing. An educated consumer is the best customer in America because you're going to get the best product out of voting for someone when you know something about what they stand for. And I find that when we look at the situation that exists within the black community, and we look at those pressing issues, we have a template that defines what is our issues. Now, once we have that template to define what our issues are, we go to the table and say, these are the things we want you to address. And how do you address those issues? And if that candidate can't tell you or articulate a message as to what's going on with that issue, we're not going to vote for that candidate. It should be as simple as that. I didn't hear anything in either party that I felt that addressed specifically those unique issues to our community. I heard more from the Democrats than I did from the Republicans. And just to say that, I'm not going for that old wink and the handshake stuff. I'm not going for that Woodrow Wilson move where black people back then were told by Woodrow Wilson one thing, and when he got in office, he did another. We have that, and we've had that happen so many times. There needs to be accountability. And again, Bert, this election is too important to let slip by. They're trying to do everything they can. There's so many cases that are out there right now that in court, in Ohio and in Pennsylvania, in North Carolina, where they're trying to restrict the vote and they're trying to minimize the amount of votes that are coming from our community. Obviously, again, Bert, why is it important that we should be voting? I want you to articulate that again, because I don't think people get it, and I want people to get this.
Well, as we've said on the show earlier in the prior shows, the election is not really one national election. It's made up of 50 separate states plus the other, like Virgin Islands and other entities. It's vital that we come out and vote because the Republicans are counting on the so-called depression of interest, a low level of interest in the black community to get over, because the Electoral College means it includes each state has a certain amount of votes in there, and like Ohio, Virginia, it's Iowa, all these states are vital to have the blacks come out and to represent their interests, because the Republican interest is going to kill them. The southern states, you know what's interesting? How the change has been slow in both the white and black community. In the southern states, when Martin Luther King got the Civil Rights Bill passed,
Right.
Johnson said, oh, there goes the South. And sure enough, the South from that time is still Republican.
Right.
So blacks are powerful in primaries, but in the southern states.
Right.
But in the general election, it's vital to come out so that your representation will affect your future.
That's why we probably have to concentrate more from now until the election on the voter purging and these rules that they're trying to change here, because I noticed Clinton mentioned it during his speech at the Democratic National Convention, but he actually broadened the spectrum, because it's not just minorities, so-called minorities, but it's also elderly, it's also disabled people. A lot of people suffer when they go through these rules and regulations where they get rid of weekend voting, they purge your name. All of these things are they're degrading the integrity of the system, the democratic system of voting, period. So everybody should be upset about it. But like Bert said, since it's important that we come out and make a proper show and exercise our vote, we need to make sure that the opportunity exists for us to do that for the people who do actually want to go to the polls.
Some of these votes may be very close. like in Florida. Very, very close. So that extra 1,000 votes that come out may make a tremendous difference.
So one of the things we as a group, and I'm speaking for the group, will encourage you to make sure you have all the proper documentation, get that stuff together in advance, not only for yourself, you check in with your family, vote as a unit, you go down there as a unit together, and let me say this to you, I don't care how long it takes to vote, be committed to stand in line and cast your vote, because this is a generational thing that's going on right now. What's going to be happening with this particular election is going to be ramifications for generations. I cannot emphasize that. I mean, I can tell you right now, before the press even started talking about it, we were talking about this for years. I started looking at the ages of the people on the Supreme Court. Well, we've been on the show all this time, and they're getting older. They're running around at 76, 78, 79, 83, and then there are going to be new appointments. And they are major cases, because, see, this is the thing about the Republicans. I have to give them credit. They are looking down the road. They've already forecast. They already have a plan ready to get people into the Supreme Court and overturn a lot of basic things that people think that are rights that won't be if they get majority, the total majority of the court. So again, I can't emphasize your need to make a commitment not only to yourself, but a commitment to those individuals who you love in your community to make sure that people have all of the documentation, and start now. Find those ID cards, find those birth certificates, whatever is required, and contact your state, whoever your voter organization is within your state, to find out what the requirements are, so you know this information in advance. We are in several different cities, so I don't know I can't tell you what it is for every state, because it can be different. But now we're going to hold you accountable. Okay, we're holding you accountable to make sure your vote counts, because this is about your life and how you're going to be living it for down the road.